So you're thinking about what's it like living in Houston, Texas. In this video, we're going to show you around different aspects of living life in Houston, Texas. We'll take you around to some neighborhood, talk about different topics, and really focus on what it really is like here. We'll stay until the very end because I'll share with you the very best kept secret of Houston that you don't want to miss. We're going to get right after it right now. If this is your first time on this channel, you want to know everything there is to know about living life in Houston, Texas, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, the pros and the cons, and subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Houston, Texas. My name is Joseph Diaz-Sana, and my partner and I, Carrie Josephson, and our team of realtors get calls and messages every day from people just like you and you looking for help on living life in Houston, Texas, and we absolutely love it. Welcome to our channel. This is Living Life in Houston, Texas. So whether you're moving in 10 days or 100 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information is in the description below so we can help you make your move smooth to Houston, Texas. We're super excited that you're returning to listen to all things about Houston, and we are looking to always deliver the best content. So feel free to share this with your friends, your family, and your colleagues that are thinking about moving to Houston. If you just saw that montage earlier, you know that Houston is a city of incredible energy. I've called Houston home for almost 30 years now, moving in from the Northeast, and I personally have experienced firsthand what it's truly like to live in the city as it moves from a small, I would call tired city, to now really vibrant, almost and even world class. And I've explored every part of it, from the bustling downtown to the charming neighborhoods that are inside the loop to all of the different suburbs and everywhere in between. And that's exactly why I'm here today. All right, so let's take a deep dive into living in Houston, Texas. Forget about the tourist brochures and the overly polished videos. We're going to get real. We're going to explore the good, the bad, and everything in between. This is your comprehensive guide to Houston, an honest look of what it's like to live here. We'll cover everything you need to know whether you're considering a move or just curious about H-Town. Specifically, we'll be discussing the undeniable pros and cons of living in Houston, the legendary Houston food scene, from fine dining to those hidden gems you won't find anywhere else, and the crucial breakdown of the cost of living so you know exactly what to expect, as well as some tips on if you decide to move to Houston. All right, let's start out with the very first pro, the undisputed champion, the crown jewel, the reason your taste buds are already tingling. It is the Houston food scene. Oh, the glorious, glorious food. Forget about what you think about Texas cuisine. Houston is a culinary melting pot, a global feast right here in the Lone Star State, right here in the southern part of the United States. We're talking world-class barbecue, smoky, tender, all kinds of different varieties, all kinds of influences, even the Texas barbecue trail, which is taking you through even the small towns just outside of Houston. Super fun. We're talking Tex-Mex also. That's sort of an art form, from sizzling fajitas to cheesy enchiladas. It doesn't stop there. The Vietnamese have made their claim on crawfish. There is regular crawfish from Louisiana, which is made and the spices are prepared in the water, versus Viet Cajun, where it's prepared on top of, mixed with that unbelievably tasty garlic butter. My mouth is absolutely watering right now. You can find authentic cuisine from every corner of the globe, from, again, we talked about Vietnamese, Indian, Laotian, Thai, Ethiopian stews, Italian pastas, Korean barbecue. It is a foodie paradise. Middle Eastern and Nigerian. I'm trying to name all the places that I would not normally try because I don't travel there, but it's in this city, so it's super fun. Right down the street, not more than 30 minutes. If you're a foodie, this is the scene and the place to be. Fun fact, there are 1,800 restaurants. That means if you and I were going to go breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we would not repeat in more than 6 years.
6 years later.
Incredible. Now let's talk equally important about Houston jobs. The city is a powerhouse, a hub of industry where opportunity thrives. Obviously, oil and gas is the biggest and major player. Now they call it energy because you're including renewables, and electricity. And then we're also a leader in healthcare. It's the world-renowned Texas Medical Center. It's about 3 miles long and has more revenue than some countries. It's a hub of innovation and life-saving research. Aerospace, we have NASA's Johnson Space Center right in our backyard, about 45 minutes down on the southeast on the way to the Gulf of America. And we're always pushing the innovation because we have a lot of incubators locally inside the downtown area and other parts of Houston. So if you're looking to build a career, Houston is amazing, amazing. It's not only a place to work, it's a place to live and to experience and really immerse yourself in the rich tapestry of culture. We are super diverse. For a long time, there's 5 counties. Harris is right in the middle, and then you have several counties around. Fort Bend to the southwest, Brazoria and Galveston to the southeast, and Montgomery up to the north, and a variety of others. It is incredible. Fort Bend County was the #1 most diverse county in the country many years in a row. We have world-class museums showcasing art and history to a thriving theater district that rivals Broadway. Houston has offers something for everyone. We're a city of festivals celebrating from art, music, food, and culture. We have the Houston International Festival. We have the Houston Arts Festival. We have an art car parade. We have live music venues showcasing lots of talent and a community that embraces diversity and creativity. The sheer variety is really staggering. And I love it also when Cirque du Soleil comes in every year during February and March. And we have the Houston Rodeo, which is a cultural explosion of craziness and everything Texas and everything cowboy. And it is just, for me, a sociological experiment. Great for people watching. It starts with a cook-off for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the actual rodeo starts, where the funds are there to help out 4-H clubs and kids to learn all about agriculture, and they judge their animals that they bring in, from goats, pigs, chickens, to horses, to cattle. The grand steer is always auctioned off, and it's like in the millions. So it's really fun. They have the trail riders that come in on Friday and they simulate a trail ride. They start a month early and they actually go down the highway. They end up in the park. So, I mean, they really do it up. It brings up over $100 million plus to the city. And that's really fun. The best part is Houston comes at a reasonable price. Let's talk about the cost of living. Compared to other major cities, Houston offers a significantly more affordable lifestyle. It's more affordable because when you're looking for a downtown apartment or suburban home or a cozy bungalow, groceries are cheaper, transportation is generally less expensive than in places like New York or LA, and your hard-earned dollars go a lot further, allowing you to enjoy all that Houston has to offer without breaking the bank. You can afford to dine out of those amazing restaurants, attend those fantastic cultural events, and I still have money left over to explore the city's many parks and green spaces. Is there an elephant in the room? Yes, there is. We have to talk about it, and that is the Houston weather. One of the cons, specifically, especially in the summer, if you've never been here, it is a beat down. The Houston heat is unreal, and when you put humidity together, it typically adds 5 to 10 degrees. We get up into the hundreds. So we hit 100, it'll feel like 105, 110. And just think about a sauna, or just think about a dryer and stick your head in it. That's what it feels like for about 6 months of the year. It starts gradually in April, May, and then it starts June all the way through like August, September, and sometimes into October. So prepare to sweat. It is not just a little, it is a lot. And this is not dry heat. It's the kind that soaks your clothes, makes your hair go crazy, and makes you crave air conditioning 24/7. It is not the only concern is the weather. And we're located to the Gulf Coast, so we're also vulnerable to hurricanes and flooding. We are what we call the Bayou City. Back in the day, we were marshland and sand. So we are lower or closer to sea level than most other parts of the country. So the risk is always there. So it's always good to have a hurricane preparedness plan, not only if you're gonna stay in Houston during a hurricane, but also understand evacuation routes and be quick to leave. Some of us may need to take a hurricane. I've done a couple hurricanes where I leave before the actual event comes. Hurricanes take about 3 to 4 days, and there's a huge announcement. My rule of thumb is it hits category 3 or 4, you have to leave, because if you try to leave right before, the day before, all the freeways are blocked, and it's really, really bad, and there's power outages. And then usually this is during the summer when it's really, really hot. So can you imagine? No electricity, possibly no water, and it's super hot. Not interested. You can always watch it from Austin. Go over there and sit in a bar, air conditioned, with a drink, looking at the news. And here's the other thing. We don't get these very often. We do have some tornadoes, and we do have high winds. And only recently did I experience being in a tornado. The weather here can change on a dime. It may be sunny in the morning, in the afternoon it's raining. You may get a weather forecast that says it's 90% chance of precipitation, and you're looking outside and there's blue skies, but your friend is drenched. Because of the flatness of the Houston area, the weather systems typically go through fairly quickly. The other thing, kind of a negative, is Houston traffic. It's infamous for a good reason. The city's rapid growth and combined with sprawling layout is created pretty much a traffic nightmare. Commute times can be excruciating depending upon when you leave and where you live. So be very careful. It's construction. There's constant construction. We do have public transportation, but it's only inside the loop in special parts of the city. We do have a light rail system, which I would call subway-ish, rail-ish, because it doesn't go all the way through all parts. And it's sort of a secondary mode of transportation because most Houstonians drive. They drive pretty much everywhere. And the last thing is mosquitoes. Because we live in the Bayou City, we have lots of mosquitoes. So typically, once it starts getting hot, we stay inside. Pretty much, unless you're a triathlete. So cost of living, one thing is really awesome is housing. It's usually the largest chunk of your monthly expense, and on average a 1-bedroom apartment can fluctuate anywhere from $1,200 to $2,500 per month. If you're getting a class A apartment, luxury apartment, it'll be a little bit higher. And a lot of things affect rent prices: age of building, amenities, proximity to public transportation, general demand in the area. And certainly the growth of Houston's economy has put some upward pressure on these rental rates. Now, the average price for a house in Houston right now is $425,000, and it grew from COVID by 33%. We're projected to grow and double population in about 40 years, which doesn't sound very long away, but it'll be here sooner than later. So what we tell a lot of our clients is, if you can afford it, buy your first house, and if you can afford it, buy a second or third, just so that you can ride the increased demand. As Texas is the #1 relocation state in the country for many, many years in a row, and Houston at the #1 spot between Penske and U-Haul for DIY moves many years in a row. So there's a lot of factors that create affordability for purchasing a house, and also demand is going to be a big one. Most of the people that buy houses want to do it close to work, and 1/4 of all homes are close to where the largest amount of jobs are, which are from downtown heading west to the Energy Corridor through the Galleria, West Park, and the Energy Corridor. So definitely check in with your realtor to make sure that you make the right choice that makes sense when you're considering home, play, and work. Next up, let's talk transportation. Houston is a sprawling city. Getting around can definitely impact your budget. For most Houstonians, owning a car is a necessity. Public transportation, while improving, doesn't yet cover the entirety of the city adequately, so you need a budget for car payments, insurance, gas, maintenance. Gas price in particular can be volatile, added to the cost of living. And also commuting times can be fairly significant, especially during peak hours. All right, so food and entertainment. Okay, grocery prices in general are like in every other part of the country. It's generally rising. So depending upon where you shop, if you do whole paycheck at Whole Foods, or if you use Kroger or H-E-B, which are our top grocery chains, sometimes even the farmers market can offer fresh, economical offerings. So check that out. Dining out can be roughly mid-range restaurant between $20 to $30. If you add dessert and a drink, obviously it'll go up. The other day, for 2 people with 1 drink, we were at $150. Just like, where did the money go? But of course, we went to a steak restaurant, so it all depends on where you go. Utilities and gas, the biggest one is going to be electricity during the summer. because you gotta really maintain and watch your thermostat, especially if you don't work from home. But if you have someone that works from home and all that stuff, it is definitely gonna go up in price. All right, so if you're thinking about moving to Houston, it is a fantastic choice. Before you pick up your bags and jump into your moving truck, there are a few things you need to know. First of all, research. Neighborhoods are going to be very key. The city is massive. The state of Connecticut fits in the area that is Houston, the metropolitan statistic area, and it's super fun. Number one, I would look relative to where you're going to live and play, not work. If you can get both work and play to be close to where you live, that'll be awesome. You can check out a family-friendly suburb if that's your current family situation, or maybe a trendy urban loft, or a quiet historic neighborhood. There's several options inside the loop. They're called the Heights for its historic charm walkability. Katy is a popular suburb with great schools. Midtown for those who love the nightlife, or even the energy corridor if you're working in oil and gas. So a lot of things depend upon where you are focusing and what's important to you. Definitely check out the other videos on the channel so that you can get a deeper focus on those specific areas. Next tip is talking about the weather. I talked earlier about hot and humid summers and mild winters. So if you're coming from the north, you're gonna have to shed all of that extra layers and those parka jackets. You're gonna have to pack them away because you will almost never need it. Sometimes when we travel, we think we're bringing our weather. I remember one time we went to Palm Springs in the winter and we had to go shopping at Walgreens to get hoodies because it got cold there because we didn't have that type of clothing to bring. So when you travel from Houston, I got to take into account what you're traveling to and dress accordingly. For sure, you definitely need a car. My first month in Houston, I came in right after college, and fortunately, I stayed with my friend's parents, who was a pastor and wife. And they asked me, "So do you have a car?" I said, "No." And I thought I was just going to take the train like I did in Chicago. Well, we don't have a really big train system. Fortunately, they had an extra car. I lucked out. I came on a Friday. My job was on a Monday. They let me borrow the car for 3 or 4 months until I made enough money to get out and go on my own. But I was just like, woo! If I didn't have that family, again, back then, if we didn't have the internet, so I couldn't do that research. But you would think I would be prepared. You definitely need a car. That is for sure. Set aside some money in your budget for eating out because there's a lot of great places, both hole-in-the-wall places, food trucks, but a lot of great restaurants. If you get bored of the food here, you haven't gone to enough places or your palate is too restricted because there's 1,800 restaurants in the Houston area. And if you and I were to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we would not repeat in about 6 years. So incredible. And definitely be prepared for the humidity, which you cannot get prepared for because it's super intense. So to recap, research your neighborhoods, prepare for weather, get a car, explore the food scene, network with locals, and brace yourself for humidity. Moving to Houston can be an incredible adventure. It is a city full of opportunities, culture, and friendly people. Oh, don't forget, add yourself to Paper City, Culture Map, or Houstonia. Add yourself on their email so that you can get the latest and greatest happenings, either from the luxury side to Houston in general, or what's going on in the culture. It's super fun. This is an amazing city. You guys will have a great time, and I would love and forward to meet you guys at some point. All right, text me down below or comment. Let me know if I'm correct. Let me know what I missed. Let me know if there's something that I should have focused on more, and we'll do that. Until next time, have a good day, sunshine, and we'll see you around the Bayou City.